This is Mari Lane from the Buying Space channel. Today I'm continuing my readings in Genesis out of the Torah. As you look at the book in front of you, the right side is in Hebrew. The left side is in English, directly translated from the Hebrew. We have studied since Adam and Eve, the creation of Adam and Eve, and we are to the life of Abraham. Most people know that Abraham left his homeland with his nephew Lot, and they traveled to a different country, different area, and Lot went on to Sodom and Gomorrah, outside of the city, and Abraham settled down with his wife and his servants and his herdsmen, and made a life for themselves, and that Sarah couldn't have children, and so he had a child with his Egyptian maid, and that's how Ishmael was born. But this was a hot day and was a surreal day in the life of Abraham. And you'll hear why in just a moment. This is Genesis chapter 18, starting in verse 1. And the Lord appeared unto him being Abraham, in the grove of Mamre. And he was sitting at the door of his tent in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood near him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the door of the tent, and bowed himself to the ground. Here's the master of the household running up to 3 strangers and bowing himself all the way down to the ground. And he said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy eyes, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and recline yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and stay ye your heart. After that ye may pass on, since ye have passed by your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast spoken. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it to a young man, and he hastened to dress it. He ran to the herd, and he took cream and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. So Abraham stood by as a servant. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee at this time next year, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it at the door of the tent, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord also being old? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surely bear a child? Of a surety bear a child, since I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee at this time next year, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. But he said, Nay, indeed thou didst laugh. So he called her out on it. I don't blame Sarah for thinking that it's absurd. Maybe she didn't realize this was the Lord. This was God, Yahweh, sitting under her tree outside her tent, saying she was going to have a baby when she was an old woman. So she did laugh. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that which I am about to do? Oh, I missed a verse, sorry. And the men rose up from there and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on their way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that which I am about to do? Seeing that Abraham will surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, and he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, in order that the Lord may bring upon them that which he hath spoken concerning him. And the Lord said, Because the cry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see if they have done according to the cry against them, which is come unto me. Destruction shall come unto them, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from there and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou then destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, or by chance, there are 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou then also destroy and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous that are therein? Far be it from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far be it from thee, shall the judge of all the earth not exercise justice? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all of the place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord, although I am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there will be 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy the city for the lack of these 5? And he said, I will not destroy if I find there 45. And he spoke again unto him and said, Peradventure there be found there 40. And he said, I will not do it for the sake of 40. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there be found there 30. And he said, I will not do it if I find there 30. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord. Peradventure there will be found there 20. And he said, I will not destroy for the sake of 20. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure there be found there 10. And he said, I will not destroy for the sake of 10. And the Lord went away as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham. And Abraham returned to his place.